Jeremy Miner here. I have got a special guest. He's actually a student and a very successful business owner now. And we're going to interview this guy today. And he's going to drop some bombs for you as far as certain questions that he's learned from NEPQ and how he's using it now in his business and how he really started from like zero, like some struggles there. And in the last 3 years since going through NEPQ and obviously doing his thing, working hard, completely owning his industry. So if you're brand new to this Facebook group and you're like, who the heck is this dude showing up on my notifications? I'm Jeremy Miner. I'm the founder and chairman of Seventh Level. And what we do is we help sales professionals, coaches, sales managers, executives, entrepreneurs. We help them transform the way they sell by learning specific skilled questions and, let's say, skilled sales techniques that work with human behavior rather than work against it, like most sales training teaches you. We call those neuro-emotional persuasion questions. We teach them the right tonality to put the prospect at ease, eliminate sales pressure, and get your prospect to want to engage with you and to actually persuade themselves. Can you imagine your prospects persuading themselves rather than you trying to sledgehammer them into it and chase them down? What a hard way to live. Oh, yuck. Now, along the way, if you want to talk more about NEPQ, about how we might possibly be able to help you sell more of your products or services, whatever your industry in, all you got to do in the comments section is type in hashtag NEPQ, hashtag NEPQ, and myself, sometimes even myself or someone in our team can message you details to see if we can help you as well. Now, if you have other questions along the way, drop those down in the comments section. That's why we have this group to help you sell more. Jesse Miller, how are you, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I've been waiting for this. When we started this Facebook group, what was it, 3.5 months, I interviewed just one student a week, just one student a week. I'm like, we got to get Jesse in there at least that first year. We got to get him in there at least the first year because I like Jesse, totally crushing it with what he's doing now after he went through NEPQ and other stuff. So let's go back, though, because you're doing so well now. You own your own company now. You're doing over $2 million a year in sales, just starting out in this new company that you own. You're profiting, good chunk of that, probably, I think we talked about like 600 some thousand a year of profiting now, but it wasn't always this way. So let's go back to like when you first got your first sales gig. Tell us a little bit more about what you did and how long ago that was.
Oh, wow. Well, first, thanks for having me on. I can't talk, enough about the great things that I've learned just over the years. But, when I first met, Jeremy Miner, right? So it was, but, that kind of takes me back to what I was doing at the time when I did. And, I was working at surgical tech, working in surgery. Okay. But, and I'm not sure if anybody on here has worked in that industry at all, but, you work all the time. They call you in on godly hours and on call, and it's just ridiculous. So for 18 years, I did that, making maybe $24, $25 an hour at top. Wow. Yeah. So, with a father and kids and the wife and things that we need, it's just hard to survive.
Yeah. So you're telling me you get out of college, and until you're mid to late 30s, you're still working your butt off, surgical tech, $25 an hour. Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's horrible, man. I feel bad for him. And you work a lot. You're on your feet.
I feel bad for myself, right?
You are. You're on your feet all the time, like 40 hours a day consistently.
So they don't teach you sales techniques as a surgical tech.
Absolutely. Nothing. Great.
Yeah.
But, I had to find other ways to make money. And obviously, that's when network marketing came into my life. The reason is because I was trying to lose weight at the time. So I got involved with a company that did Beachbody. I don't know anybody.
Yeah, Beachbody. My wife does the workouts since the quarantine thing. We couldn't go to the gym for a couple months. So, okay, so you're a surgical tech and you're like, man, I need to make more money. You get into network marketing. Yes. And so you're basically selling these, weight loss programs. You're recruiting people to sell it for you. You make it residual. How was it like, though, when you first got into that? Like, what type of results were you getting, like, selling the way they taught you how to sell?
Oh, it was horrible, Jeremy. I mean, it was literally, they just wanted you to go for the no, right?
For the no. Okay. I love that mentality. Okay.
So funny. It was like, message people till they either say no or you just, you keep going. And then hopefully in hopes that you may get somebody to look at it or maybe get them on a call so they can basically tell you no on the call.
Okay, so their sales training was literally like message people, call people, and say what?
It was, they had little basic scripts that they had tried to put together over years. Other trainers were doing it.
Right.
Hey, I've got an opportunity here. If I can even remember it correctly, but I have an opportunity. Would you be open to looking at blah, 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 right? And you would just massive email people that or message them. Hopefully somebody would say something. You get banned for so many things. Facebook will shut you down for messaging too many people at one time. Just silly.
Wow. Okay, so you start trying to sell that way and recruit that way. What was going on? Good Lord. What was going on in your mind at that time? You're working your butt off trying to make this side income. You're getting shut down left and right by selling that way, using those old school techniques. What the hell was going on in your mind?
Man, I was thinking this is probably not the way I want to move forward. I mean, here's the thing. You start to see all these other people making money, but then, I thought, well, let me do this. Let me get results, and then I'll make sales. Right? That didn't help. It didn't help because I lost a lot of weight. I felt really good, and I was trying to show my pictures from before and afters and do all those things. I went that route. And I started getting a little bit of people coming in with the challenges and things we're doing, but that wasn't working. Still no sale.
Yeah.
But really, it was wearing me out, dude. I was so tired. I would get up at 4:00 in the morning and shoot out all my messages on Facebook. Then I had to go to surgery and work from 6:30 till 3. During the day, I would get messages on Facebook, so I would sneak out in between cases and try to message people back. And, it was just horrible, man. It was one of
wow. Okay, what was going on in your poor wife? What was she thinking about all this stuff?
It's funny because she was very open to it because we were struggling so much financially, man. It was like whatever I can do to make money. Working in surgery, I didn't have any way to get another job because I had to go on call and things like that. So,
okay.
Technically, I just had to do what I had to do. Now, really, that dug a deep ditch for me and actually put me in a place where I was just like, I don't know if I want to mess with this anymore. It was one of those things. And
you were just about to give up on selling. And
I was.
Okay. So let's jump into this. So how did you find me? How did you find NEPQ? Take us back.
Okay. So what I was doing is I had an opportunity to move up because I was in surgery. I was working with reps that came in and they would sell the doctor. So I was like, well, let me try that. Let me see if I can get in. It's a very hard industry to get in. You have to know somebody to know somebody. Well, I did because I worked inside.
Sure.
I got an opportunity and I was like, all right, I'm going to try this. I have my tech skills.
Yeah.
You don't have sales skills. So I thought, well, I could get by with my tech skills because I know everything, right? And I knew the tech part. So I could be able to sell this with needs.
So talking about the products and services of the medical device sales was not giving you a lot of money.
It was not about, it was about, I did not know how to do what we call find the problem.
You were not a problem finder. So how did you find me? I mean, how did you find NEPQ? I looked you up. I want to tell you something. You're one of the first 100 customers that purchased the NEPQ sales training program, the first version, NEPQ 1.0, 3 years ago. You were one of the first 100. I looked you up. You were like 63 or something.
I was literally just like you do, man. You was advertised. I think he was advertised. I saw an ad and I just said, you know what? I like what he's saying. It sounds more like me. It's not. Yeah. It just resonated, right? So I was like, all right, I don't have the money, but I'm going to invest, right? I'm going to invest in this and I'm going to try it out.
So you invested in NEPQ and you started learning NEPQ. What started changing for you in the next 60 days?
I literally, because that was before we went to that big thing, but yeah, I literally started seeing a difference in just understanding.
Yeah.
Right. First, understand to be understood.
Yeah.
I understood that. And when I started understanding that and then being a problem finder instead of a problem solver, right? I mean, this stuff resonates with me. I'm not just saying stuff because Jeremy told me to, guys. I'm telling you, this is a DNA now that you will build if you do this. But what I'm saying is I started learning how to communicate to these doctors because they're very smart guys, right? Men, women.
And if you're selling to doctors, it's it's a complex buyer, right? You're not just showing up, choke them by the tie and hope, until they buy, or jam and cram. Like, it's a complex selling. They're skeptical. They're cautious. They have salespeople talk to them every day. What started changing?
Well, I went a different route. I think they weren't used to seeing the way I was going. It was almost like I came in with a mindset of not really trying to make the sale, right? More trying to find the problem. And it was literally, we would sit down. I would do the same as other reps, try to get a call, because you have to book a time, get in, see them in the office. They're very busy. They're in and out. Yeah. So you have very little time. So you've got to make it count. So I got into calls, and what I would do, I go in the office, and I would, instead of jumping right into what I got and what I wanted to sell, right, blah, 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 I would ask, well, before we jump into this, Dr. So-and-so, I'd like to find out a little bit more about what you're trying to do here, just so I know how to help you more appropriately moving forward. Yeah. And, I don't know what I can do to help you yet. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. So you were detached from the expectations of making that sale. You walked into that prospect, that potential customer, which are doctors, and you basically were not biased. Okay. And because you were not biased, they picked up on that. And because you were open to them, they became open to you.
Yep.
100%. Okay. Now I know your income started to really go north after you started learning those questions that you were learning in the NEPQ. And that was just the first version. Our third version is like 3 times as much training now. I feel bad that you only went through the first.
I need to re-up, man. You never can stop.
I know, right? So what happened? Your income started to really go up.
Yeah, it started going up. I know because they start you out. Here's the good thing. Like I said, I was working $25 an hour, but they started you out as a salary at $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
And then any sales that you made. So as I started making sales, those sales turn into residuals because as they use your product over and over, you get paid on, and then you build that up on top of your money. So I quickly went from $3,000 a month to about $12,000 a month within probably about a month and a half, because it has to stack up. And
Okay, I want you to think about that. Going from $3,000 a month, which is $36,000 a year, to within a month and a half, you're at $12,000 a month, which is $144,000 a year.
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a difference starting out. How did it make you feel?
Great question. It changed things. It really puts you almost don't believe it at first. And I know this is probably, you hear this quite a bit from, people that are in the, that learn, but it's kind of like one of those things because you don't really do anything different in your day to day. It's just more of making what you do count.
Yeah. It's more of the quality of the conversation rather than the quantity of the conversation, because none of that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a really good thing when it started clicking. But when the money started coming in, it was just like it didn't hit at first.
Yeah,
right? It didn't start to hit. It was just kind of like,
is this true? Is it?
Is this because you're used to barely making anything, making ends meet, being in debt and all kinds of stuff, right? That's where the debt came from, and this is what helped with the story we're about to tell. But I was literally starting to see differences in how I was carrying myself. It was a little bit more confidence.
Yeah.
I was able to, even more so when I go into a doctor's office, I didn't go in with, a little bit of scarcity feeling, I got to make this sale. It was more of, now I can go in, I've got some money stacking up a little bit. Yeah. Now I really can make this happen.
And you're there to see if you can help them, not sell them. Yeah. It's a major factor. Now I know your income kept going up, even north of that. As you learn more NEPQ, you don't master NEPQ in like 3 weeks, right? It's like you keep learning skills every single week. I know you went through more training with me where I was doing more one-on-one stuff with you in our other programs. And then you started using it with your network marketing business on the side. What happened there?
I became number 1 in the network marketing company.
You went from like last to first. In how long?
It was probably because I was working more in the job, so I had to do it part-time. But what I noticed was I put together a script kind of based on what you taught, and literally it was reaching out and asking, I have a question versus here I'll get an opportunity. It was just curious, be open to looking at that, if that was open to you. But I didn't do that anymore. I moved away from that, and I said, and I started. The thing was, Jeremy, I got them off of Facebook. That's really where it started happening, and then I learned the pauses. You guys don't know what that is. You will learn what Jeremy does when he does the pauses. Pauses work.
Verbal pausing.
Pausing. And that was key. That, and then asking the question, why? How does it make you feel? Why is that important to you?
Yeah, probing, more NEPQ probing as well that they've learned going through NEPQ 2.0 and 3.0. So you started crushing it. I mean, good Lord, you get out of medical device sales, you become the number one distributor in a network marketing company. You're earning tens of thousands of dollars a month, which is just completely crazy because, like a year before you're making $3,000 a month. Okay. Yeah. And then you're like, you get this idea like, hey man, I'm going to start this company. I'm going to become a business owner now. Tell us a little bit about that. Like what caused you to want to start your own business 2 years ago?
Well, the good news is I was making good money. The company I was with, they actually started having something happened. They all started, they changed their policies. Things changed. I got out of that, guys, just so you know. I was doing good. I got out of it. I put more emphasis into my sales job. I went from 150 to about 250.
Yeah.
I'm still working through that.
Yeah.
Then I started noticing that although I was making more money and I looked on paper looked good, but I couldn't get the things that someone making 250 could do. Meaning I couldn't even go out and get a car unless I paid cash for it, right? So meaning I was still driving my old beaters, if you will. It wasn't a beater, but it was bad enough where, if I go to a doctor's office, it's kind of like, dude, you're making money. Why are you driving this? My people would ask me that, not the doctors, but the people I worked, kind of my coworkers. They all had nice vehicles.
Yeah.
But I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
It was my credit. My credit because I wasn't making a lot of money. I was living on, whatever back in the day, and
sure.
we could. And so
you had debt, and it lowers your credit score. So you get this crazy idea about starting a credit repair company. How did you even learn how to do that?
Well, I started making money, and then it allowed me to have more opportunity to invest in coaching, right? That was the key. And I found the best of the best in the industry. And I'd say, well, can you fix my credit?
Yeah.
It happened that the guy doing it, he said, I'll do better for you. I'll teach you how to fix your own.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
And then when he did that was the key that changed my whole mindset toward how to do other things, right? And I was like, wow, I can do this, but he's taught me how to do it. But we did a different way. We didn't use the old outdated ways that people do.
Yeah.
We started something new. He was already doing it for years. He did this for NFL companies and everything else. I mean, he did basketball players, football players. He was like their guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how I found him. It was just weird. And I've spent a lot of money to get trained by him and learn his methods, if you will, the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. Yeah. And I just took it on. And I took everything that I learned, not only with sales, but over the years, being online with network marketing, trying to figure out all these things.
Yeah.
And just created something that made it easier than what I had.
Yeah.
So that's what I was looking for. How can I find a problem? This problem.
So,
right?
So the people you're advertising to, they have problems. Their credit is bad. Now, imagine those leads coming into you using the old way you were taught how to sell. What type of results do you think you would have had?
I think it would have to be someone literally on the cusp of breaking down because they need something, right? Because here's the thing.
Like you would have made the easy sales.
Yeah, it's the easy one. It's the fact sale, right? Facts are facts. Here's the facts. Your credit sucks. You need this. We need to do that. Right. And that's the problem. And the thing is, when I was able to add what I learned from you and NEPQ, I was able to find the problem first, right? What is the actual problem? It's the house, the car. It's not the credit they want. It's the house they want. It's
the result.
Why do you want a new house?
Yeah.
Because I have a 3-bedroom and I got another kid on the way and we're afraid that we're not going to have enough room.
Yeah.
How will that affect you? Why? How's that?
The problem is the credit.
Yeah.
And most salespeople can find out the problem, like, what's your problem? Oh, my credit sucks. But they don't know how to go deeper. They don't understand NEPQ yet, right? They're asking just surface level questions. And so what you're learning from NEPQ is you're learning not only how to find out their problem, but the root cause of the problem, like what actually caused the problem so they feel that themselves when they talk about it, and then how it's impacting them. What is the result of the problem doing to them, right? They can't get a car. They can't get a house. They can't maybe finance their kids' school or anything like that, right?
That's stress, man. Are you going to be able to keep your house, right? People need to refinance, right? They need to refinance their house, and having better credit will allow them to do that to get a less amount to pay, putting more money in their pocket for that.
Yeah.
It's less stress. So these are the things that you learn to find, right? You learn to find that by asking the right questions. So that's what took the business to the next level. Now, I now have expanded into helping actual credit repair companies and mortgage, all these other companies use our software to help other people now. We've taken it to the next level.
Okay.
And to add to that, I teach. I have a weekly call like you do here, and I'm training them how to use this NEPQ and sale to sell their clients so they can make more.
So now your clients that are, promoting your credit repair software, you're teaching them how to go out and ask these NEPQ questions to find and help solve problems. What type of results are they getting?
Other questions. Everybody that goes through it, it's almost an aha. It's like the door is open. It's like, wow, that makes sense, right? It's almost like you have to get that part for it to make sense. Otherwise, you try to do the facts. Or you need credit, right? This is what we want to do. This is your score. Mm-hmm. I tell everybody, you know what? That's not what's important. What's important is finding out what that problem is. You got to be a problem finder before you be a problem solver. And I always reiterate that. It's almost like a open door to leading them down a path that they feel that they're carrying you versus you taking them. And then you're just offering them solutions.
You're just the facilitator, right? You're taking on the self-discovery journey where they're discovering what their problems are that they didn't even know maybe they had. Because most people don't even know what their problems are when you first talk to them. Maybe 10% do. That's the lay down sales. But there's like this other 80% that, depending on your questioning ability, your skill, it depends on which side of the fence they go, whether they buy from you or they don't buy, right? It's all to your questioning skills. So congratulations, man. I saw you at a ClickFunnels Award show here right before the pandemic. And, they have like a couple hundred people that win the award. I was up there on stage and I get down and Jesse was right before me winning a 2 award. So your company's doing multiple 7 figures a year now. You're profiting, $600,000-$700,000 a year. You're just starting out. I mean, I think your second year in business.
Yeah, we just bought our dream house. We just moved in a couple months ago during the recession, during all this going on. Yeah. Right? We bought our dream home, over $1 million home.
Now I have to ask this question, okay? Because you went from, before NEPQ, you went from $3,000 a month to now $60,000 a month.
Remember, I was working as a tech. I went less than that. I was making
$25 an hour. You didn't know how to sell. Then you learn NEPQ. You start crushing it. 3 years later, you went from your regular home. I know you live in Columbus, Ohio still, right?
Yeah.
Big Buckeyes fan. Now you're living in $1 million home. I have to ask this. I always ask every client, I know I've done my job right if their spouse is happy by the investment they made in the training. Is your spouse possibly happy? Am I in the fan club, the spouse fan club?
You are in the spouse fan club. Actually, Jeremy, it's so funny. She knows your voice because I still go back. I'm telling you guys, I literally go back and I listen to things that, I heard Jeremy, like I'll even go back and listen to some calls. I'll listen in. I'm even in the groups. I sneak in. I try to listen to everything that Jeremy's throwing out, guys. I mean, literally, you have to be a student.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was able to share a stage with my mentor, right? And really winning the same reward that he won, that at that point, it made me feel good, right? But
proud of you. I get off the stage, there's freaking Jesse Miller there. I'm like, what the heck, man? I haven't seen you for like a year and a half because I knew you were one of our first customers because I recognized your name, your voice. Obviously, we've met before because you're in my advanced training. And I'm just like, dude, that's because we had the masterminds when we first started. You were there like participating and learning those skills. Like, dude, I love right now we have about 1,500 some testimonials in the first 3 years. Okay. And we're not a huge company yet. Yeah. But man, I love like interviewing on here. Like people like hit each other, like fight each other to get on these interviews. But I just wanted to get you out here because I'm like, first of all, he's a Buckeyes fan. I like the Buckeyes too. So, we've got that in common. And I love the story. It's like literally like rags to riches story. That's true. Because a lot of people make up stuff, man. I get so annoyed by people making up stuff, but like I've seen your journey. Like I know what you went through when you first started here, going through the training compared to where you are at now. I do have to ask you this question. What's the number one question you ask your prospects to help build urgency in the sale?
I always go with the if nothing changes, or you don't do anything now, what's going to change, right? And I use that one quite often when I was working. I teach that quite often. It's basically it's working up to that to get there, right? I always try to make sure I get to that point.
Yeah.
But I ask them, and I do the pause, right? You got to make the pause in there. But I mean, based on what you said here, I mean, it sounds like what you're doing here is causing you problems. But what are you going to do here if nothing changes and you keep going? You see that pause?
Makes them think about it.
And then it's kind of like, well, Jeremy, I mean, what are you going to do here if nothing changes? And you keep going on and doing what you're doing now, and you don't get that house, and your wife is still stressed out, and you got the baby in a way. And you mentioned you don't want her to be stressed out, but what are you going to do if nothing changes and that continues? Right?
It's that consequence question. Well, hold on though. What are you going to do if nothing changes? Like if your credit stays at this level under 600, and you're not able to get this house, and you're not able to get this car for your spouse another 6, 12 months, even 2 or 3 years from now, what would you do then?
Yeah. And they always come back with, well, I'm not. I got to do something. Yeah, but why not?
NEPQ Pro. But hold on. Why now, though?
Yeah.
I love that, man. I love that. Now, what's your advice before we end the interview, what's your advice for everybody listening in? Because we have a lot of people that get on here, these Facebook Lives. We have a lot of people in the group that are already being trained by us. But what's your advice for somebody that's like, what? Do I need more advanced training, or should I just stick to what I've always done?
I would say this. A product of the product. Honestly, I am a product of the first version.
Yeah.
I can get to where I am on that first version. Imagine where you can get on the third or even the second version.
Yeah, I feel bad that you only went through the first version. Now, you did go through our advanced training where I was training you in masterminds and more of the script writing and stuff like that too. But even if somebody's in our 3.0 version, especially our advanced inner circle training, now our group training and all that stuff, and they have access to me, it's night and day different for sure.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, what you just mentioned, having access to you one-on-one. We used to do Voxer back then. I don't know if you still do that. But
you still do a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing, having access to speak with Jeremy. And at the time, to be fair, Jeremy and I spoke a lot even on site. We had a lot of communication.
Yeah.
But my point here is having access to your coach like that is going to make a huge difference than just having the course and things like that. That's why I'm so good, because I can hear and speak and hear the pausing and having access to that. So if he's I don't know what you're offering in that, but what I'm saying is if anything he's offering you where you get one-on-one, take it.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Hey, Jesse, thanks for being on here. Tell your wife I said hi. I look forward to, when we have live events, again, another ClickFunnels event, you'll be up on stage. I'll be up on stage possibly, and look forward to sharing a lot of more stories. And I'm grateful for you that you're still learning. I'm still learning, right? Like I never stopped learning, but you're still learning 3 years later, even though you're so successful now from NEPQ and sales. Like I'm very grateful that you're in our group and you're just contributing like that. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to see you still doing it and helping more people. I think that's the key. We definitely need to get this out to more people, because I think is what it is. We have all the Greg Cardones and all that. That's okay, but I've never been a big fan. But I feel if you are the same way and you don't want to be a hard pushy salesperson, you want to learn to communicate and use NEPQ the right way and take the leap into that. I would say definitely take the next level with Jeremy so he can get with you one-on-one. That is the key to success. Now, I'm not saying you can't be successful with his lower product. I'm saying for me, I need to hear what he's saying. And that communication is why my calls are on the spot. That's why I'm able to to do
Well,
things.
you have become a legend, my friend. We call that, we're actually getting shirts, like polo shirts for Advanced Inner Circle members now that say #be a legend. So you have legendary status in NEPQ, and I really appreciate you, man. I know you got to get back to work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for
All
having
right,
me.
man. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed these, here's another you can watch right over here, right over here. Join our free Sales Revolution group. Click the link below, join us, and we're gonna help you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon.